I want others to be convenient with me. Others means it may include biotic or abiotic things. So when this rapid advancement happened, especially the technology application across various sectors, not only I think last came the agriculture. It started with health, sports, communication, transportation, logistic, etc., etc. So it has been revolutionizing how we live and work. Our lifestyles have been getting changed at an enormous speed of this technology intervention. If you consider an individual on the earth today, some reports they say on an average we have almost 1.9 gadgets on each and every citizen of this world. That means more than our populations, our technology aiding gadgets, tools, connections, communications are happening. So agriculture is not an exception in this area, because it's ongoing process always. It never stops. With the changing climate, with the changing political scenario, with the changing the microeconomic scenario, social developments, knowledge gaining, knowledge application. Because I don't say it is a cultivation of crops, I say you are cultivating the earth for the crops, for the food, for the fiber, for the feed, for the fuel. So that lot many changes they do happen and they tend to happen. Otherwise, it will not be called as farming. So this Internet of Things, there are two terms here. One is Internet, another side is things. We all know better since in an era, I can call you Internet. Just today I'm not going to take on the part of the technical backup of this Internet or things or architect, all those things, because I am not that person. So let me take the introduction of this technology into agriculture and how best we can reap out the best results out of it to help ourselves in getting good food. So Internet, as we know, it is a network of networks, that much I can say now. When the computers started pouring into our life, Internet also followed. Then the things, here is a very interesting part of the IoT, the things. What things we're going to get an Internet of it? Internet works on the protocol, Internet protocol suite we call. And when it gets connected to things like is a major here is the hardware part having the software embedded in. That means that basically in agriculture, this is the day or this is the time that a farmer or a farmer service provider or a farmer service provider company, it may be public, it may be private, or it may be a hybrid, whatever it may be, we need to understand that we have to create and we have to innovate in getting the things connected. For example, we need to sensitize this area of farming. I'm not saying we are doing the senseless farming, but somehow when you find your food on your plate, okay, we are not sure that how this food has come from where it has, okay, so how it is processed or how it is grown, how it is harvested, and what were the climatic conditions there, what was the weather there, and how the farmer performed it. This we in new terms we call it as a traceability. But to traceability, to get the traceability on track, we need to look back at what is happening in the farming. It may be a group of plants, it may be a group of, for example, agriculture, we do cover the crop husbandry as well as the animal husbandry, that we call livestock. Like livestock includes lot many things. So with these two, the context, let me take you to the next part of the IoT, especially the sensors. We have sensors, we have cameras, we have this and that, which is meant for reading that environment, okay, and connecting that environment to next level of analytics. See, we do get data. For example, let me take the traditional farming. Traditional farming, we are more of qualitative type. That means we say this has rained today. Today it is a drought. We have seen lots of pests and pathogens, weeds in my farm. I am finding the change in the wind direction, and I am changing a lot of sunshine today, or it's very diffused. Okay, it's some sort of change in the weather pattern of the crop. These are all qualitative part. When you change this qualitative part into quantitative part, there the IoT role comes into play. That means we have data generated automatically in the farming during day-to-day practices, but we don't know how to capture the summary, okay, how to capture the takeaway message of that much data created in the farming. That is traditional farming. But now it is high time that a lot of developments happened in the IT sector, ICT sector, and advanced analytical sector like AI and so many other issues. So now it is high time to connect. I don't say IoT is as new as any other sciences, because I think it must have passed almost 30 to 50 years of its own genesis in a different way by different people. So when you talk on the sensors, nowadays, earlier sensors were of primitive type. Okay, so the simple one. For example, if it catches the image, that we call it as the imaging tool. When it's connected with a sensor what it does is the image is captured, but I cannot go it, or I cannot show it as an image, but I will say what is an image. That is the sensor. So today's sensors, they are so smart enough. For example, I always say whatever the innovation creativity comes into agriculture, always it is drawn from the health industry, always. So the level of sensing, it has gone to that level. A sensor nowadays, it's not a simple tool to sense it collects the data, it corrects the data, and it communicates the data. See the power that is built in as a sensor, that we call them as the smart sensors. So when you use this one kind of sensor in farming, for example, raising a crop or raising a livestock, it's always, I used to say, it's a game of PCMB, means the physical environment, the chemical environment, and the biological environment. All together, they create the mathematics of the system. So when all these factors are influencing the crop rising, or animal rising, or birds rising, or whatever it is there, what happens? The data created on one side, if it doesn't communicate with the other side of the data creation, the things fail. What I'm saying to say here is, things fail, it means that decision making. See, always we have enough stuff with us, we have enough abilities, we have enough associated things with us, but when you fail to take decision, especially in farming, it is the farming or farm-based intelligent solutions, or farm-based intelligent thinking, or farm information system, FIS, we call it as FIS. So that is termed as MIS when techies speak, management information. This management is nothing but the raising of the crops. Why do you struggle with this? Why you have to get into this system? Because as the demand grows for the crop produce as a food, as a fuel, as a fodder, as a feed, automatically the S&T, okay, the science and technology has to get evolved at the greater extent, because we are targeting the productivity, we are targeting the sustainability, we are targeting the efficiency. See, now we want to rush to the efficiency. Earlier it was called input efficiency or input efficient farming. Okay, now the things are changing. We call it as energy efficient farming. That means all the inputs are they are energetic. It gives an energy. For example, fertilizer you take, it gives the nutritional energy. For example, if you are using any pesticides, it gives the protection energy. If you are using the water, it gives the humidity or the water related correlated energy. And soil is the ultimate energy world, because it has got microbes into it, it has got macrofauna, microfauna, there's so many things into soil. So wherever crops presently they are coming from soil only. The 90% of the farming on earth is done on soil. Of course we do have soilless cultures, and we have the indoor farming. Actually that is not a correct term, but we call it as a controlled farming system, just like glasshouse, greenhouse, etc., etc. So we have farming outside and inside. When compared to the outside, the indoor farming, what we term it, now it has gone to the next level, because there the sensing of the things has crossed our imagination, and it is highly controlled. So therefore, if I sow a seed, for example, the seed with the highest optimized capacity of expression of genes, environment, and the phenotyping, if you get control the conditions of that growing situation, it gives more than 100%. What we are thinking now today, if you don't have the genetic background or genetic analysis of that particular seed, we are satisfying with the I call it as a comfort zone of realization of the yield. But actually the potential it is totally different. We don't know, nobody knows it properly, because the same seed when it is put in the forest, the same seed when it is put in the desert, the same seed when it is put in the normal condition farming, they do behave differently. Okay, this is the very untouched area. We have very good genetic studies and all genomic studies, profiling, everything we have done, but sometimes it goes beyond our control to understand how it gets sensitized in this farming situation. So to take that the exact contribution of the seed through soil, we need to get this sense, okay, of the sensors, so that the seed, the soil, the water, the environment, they get their share to contribute more to this farming. Then the real world comes up. I can call it as it gets erupted, just like a volcano. Therefore, some farmers see, for example, to this year's scenario, especially the Bengal gram that is grown under Rabi conditions. By looking to the Kharif conditions, that means which runs from almost May end to the September, is totally different this year. Lot of influence on the crops which are grown now in the Rabi, that means after the September. So this coordination or this connection with the Kharif to the Rabi on a large scale, I'm saying is a large scale, multi scale. Okay, the knowledge who is involved into farming, of the both the seasons, they can only predict. That we call it as a predictive analysis. There exactly the principle of the precision farming comes. See, you have crops, you have farming situation, and you are creating the data, either it is a micro data or the mega data or the big data, why to call. But the predictive factor it plays again a vital role. So once you use this Internet of Things on place, your predictive capacity, the predictive analysis goes to the next level. So today's lacking is in our field, or it may be in any other sector, is the prediction. Okay, are you predicting properly, whether in the interest of market, whether in the interest of meeting the hunger demands, whether it is the interest of the igniting the fuel industry, whether in the interest of creating an energy sector out of biology? So this predictive analysis need to get properly understood, and the one of the helping tools is predictive analysis is the IoT. So with this, let me explore some of the applications wherein this IoT can help. Okay, for example, let us talk about the smart agriculture. Today we have smart cities, we have smart streets. Okay, we have smart pilgrimage, so etc etc. In the same line, the smart agriculture. Okay, the precision agriculture is the part of the smart agriculture, or we say it is a ag-tech industry, whatever we call. So let me take the part of this emphasis towards the business scale. How I made it very clear that either farmer can be a businessman once he understands this farming, or a farmer service provider may be a good businessman or an entrepreneur once he understands the farming. The same line with the product management people, okay, or the ultra processing management people. So all these people, they need one or the other way this IoT in a different style. So when this IoT provides a network of interconnected devices and the sensors, okay, especially when I consider this farming or agriculture as an industry which collects the data, the basic data, and it shares the data to different devices of significance. That means the utility part of that data according to the systems generated. It may be sensor may be embedded in soil, because I told you soil is the base. It may be embedded in the microclimate of the crops, and it may be connected, or it may be embedded with the machineries that we come in the navigation part, and it may be connected with some other form of farming wherein the data is utilized or data is encrypted in a best way to get the prediction better. So what are the things that you are going to monitor here? I told you it is a physical, chemical and biological environment. For example, the temperature, the most important part. Okay, either inside the plant or outside the plant, just we check with the human beings or animals or any other living creatures the temperature. Okay, if you read the temperature properly in the microclimate of the crop, or the above head climate we call, that is on a large scale, this is a very important determining point in the crop health. Why? Crop is not alone in the system. Crop has got so many attractors. For example, insects. As we thrive for food from the crop, insects, they do have the right to eat the plants, okay, for their food. Pathogens, they have a right to eat the plants for their food. The weeds, they are associated with the plants, okay, they have a right to take the food from its surrounding climate, it is a soil or farming system. That means when you start gathering or connecting the devices for temperature, the temperature, it plays a vital role in all the lives of these things. So how best I can read the temperature which is suitable for my crop by keeping away all these pests, pathogens, weeds, okay, as a biotic part. And abiotic part is the stress created out of the either low temperature or the high temperature. Okay, both are essential here to understand. It's not only that we do consider only drought, we must consider the flooding. That means the overpouring of the water either through rains or the reservoirs or your rig bores or whatever it may be. That means we need to consider this temperature, and the next part is the that we call it as a humidity. Some crops, especially we do recommend or we do advocate. For example, you take the crop like a paddy. Paddy is a different set of crop in among all the crops, because we need to put paddy to some extent in the thin line of water. Okay, but in other crops humidity is required rather than the water. Okay, we say harvest the humidity of the water, that is more than enough, and connect it with the biological system of the plant, you get the crop. But people don't understand it properly because they lack that prediction, the predictive analysis. So one is temperature, next is the humidity, the next is the part of the humidity means the soil moisture. See, humidity doesn't not only come from the soil but also comes from the ambient. That means the air and the weather or microclimate, whatever it may be happen. Next comes the most important part is, see, we are getting the nutrients from the nutrient enabling system that is called farming. So nutrient levels of the crops is very, very important. Okay, whatever we sow seeds in the soil, that gives us back as a magnet. If you sow good seeds, if you create good farming systems, if you create good soils, it gives back us the good. It hardly matters what you are going to sow. Whatever you sow, okay, you shall reap it back. That means that is the principle of farming. So therefore we need to consider more on the nutrient levels. Then comes the behavior of the plant. That means the behavior of the plant depends on the architect of the plant. For example, nowadays, let me take some of the crops in between. For example, mango. Mango was raised, okay, in the history of cultivation, okay, as a big, gardens. We used to call them as a big gardens. Okay, in Kannada we call it as a tota. That means, but today the mango has taken a different shape, that we have gone to the ultra high density mango cultivation, because the mango plantation has become mango industry now. For example, I grow 1,000 mango fruits on my plant, but without much consideration of the mango content which is required for the industry. But now industry asks, if you are growing mango, I want a mango with this component into that, is sugar, acid, protein, whatever it is there, and its feasibility of getting processed next level, either it is a pulp, juice, etc., etc. That means that industry demand, okay, it makes that plant to get a better architect. So therefore the ultra high density has come. The same line, I will take the another very, very primary crop of our food is the pigeon pea. We call it as a tur. Okay, so here what happens when you grow up the pigeon pea, I call it as a small tree in agriculture. There are few varieties in Madhya Pradesh, especially they do grow like a trees, and they are perennial. Even we do have today in some of the parts of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, people have the pigeon peas left over in the border for 4 to 5 years. That means we call it as a ratuni, just like in sugarcane. That means they have got the capacity of the tree making, but we are converting them as a crop making. That's all. There is a difference. Is a season bound or the many seasons for. That means when you take up the crop, I have tried in pigeon pea with my farmers in 4 years back, when whole India was after the pulses. We did celebrate this a pulse year. That time I selected very few farmers to experiment, and I got that variety from the Indore, okay, by the farmer itself who has bred that variety, and I have put it, and I changed the architect, general sowing pattern. Just I am talking about how the farming system helps. Traditionally I am saying, now we can put IoT into that. So when I change the spacing pattern of the pigeon pea, for example, today 2 by 2, 1 by 2, 2 by 3. That's what our farmers they do sow it with 5 or 4 kgs of seed. But with the managed farmers, okay, with the decision making farmers, I asked them, let us change this architect. Let us go for 6 by 4 spacing. That means 6 feet 5, 4 feet, less like any small tree or any small horticultural crop. Then farmers registered for it because I told no, the environment is going to change. This particular variety needs that environment to get its the full potential. Then what we did, farmers took this 654 spacing and we have brought down the amount of seeds to be sown, not from sowing through the cultivator, okay, or the seeder. We have brought it for from that to the dibbling level. That means manual dibbling of the crop, the seed, wherein the 5 kg of the seeds have gone there. And by changing the crop architect, the crop geometry, we have brought it down at just less than a kg. Okay, so what happened here? First of all, the number of seeds got reduced and the space increased, and the plant has got the full potential of its microclimate, wherein the same variety with the 2 by 2 spacing has yielded 4 to 5, maximum 6 quintals. It got converted into 13 quintals. Okay, that means by changing this microclimate, just you are going to change the architect of the plants, okay, in the farming, you are going to get huge potential of the crop. Accordingly, what happened here? The temperature, the humidity, the luminance, and soil moisture, the nutrient levels, air, everything got changed, and plant has got its share from the climate, and it has given its best. That means the genes which were contained in that particular variety, when it was bred to its highest potential, got expressed. That we call it as a phenotypic. That means whatever the contents of the gene related formulations within the plant, expression of hormones, proteins, enzymes, which get converted into the blood of the plant, that we call it as okay, the content of the plant as a food, as a fuel, as a fiber, when it comes out, we got it nourished well. So this is happened. Then here huge data was created, but we are at our level of understanding to get the best out of the plant, we did it. But when the IoT comes into this, the 13 quintals which is realized with the traditional farming, it can go to the next level of 18 quintals, 20 quintals. We don't know. We are meant to chase the nature, or we have to follow the nature. That's all. Nothing else. Okay. So therefore, people started searching for how to get this infinite intelligence of the nature. Therefore, the artificial intelligence has come. Okay, where it crosses the human limit of understanding. Okay, my eyes can sense to some level. Okay, to some extent. My legs can sense to some extent. My hands can sense some extent. But beyond it, I am not sure. I have got a limitation as a physical body. But artificial intelligence, okay, they have brought in with lot of machine learnings, different forms. It has crossed the limit of human intelligence and gone to the next level. Okay, this is the way you have to do it. Therefore, nowadays, okay, the IoT, that means the connection of the things to understand all these parameters with the what we call the Wi-Fi connectivity, which works on the radio frequency, and now they are going to the Li-Fi, that is the light fidelity. That means wherein the radio frequencies are used in the Wi-Fi, now they are taking the use of the light as the source of communication, the light as the passage of communication, the speed of the light. See, the things are changing now. That means we want to know and understand and get the best of the climate to the farming system. So when you talk about this, people will ask me, yes Baba, okay, it is fine, but what is this industry output? What is the market? Okay, people who are after the markets, who are after creating the markets for the things. Okay, they need the market share. As on date, okay, the 23-24, it is almost touching the 30 billion US dollars. But the predictions are there, it may cross even 50-70 by 2030. That means there is a lot of scope in understanding this Internet of Things connected with the farming, Internet of Things connected with the production of livestock, Internet of Things connected with the integrated farming system. The next level of IoT is into integrated farming system. It's more complex again. But there we need to connect not only the things, the lives of the farming system. Okay, so there we need that entire huge data confined into a very concentrated space and with a lot of speed and get the analytics done. So this is the next level. Therefore, the market size is growing day by day, because as a farmer or as a normal the man of science of farming, I look at the biology and other things, but people are there look into the market of it. Okay, the market or the business nothing but giving service to the unreached. That's all through their the business network. So what happens when you create this system in the farming? Understanding the environment at the micro scale or the macro level with the plant or with a group of plants, first of all, it enhances the efficiency and the productivity. See, we are striving hard to go to the productivity level. Always we tend to compare with the productivity of our crops with the developed countries or developed farming systems, either it's indoor or the outdoor. So that efficiency and the productivity, the number one, because we are sensing that soil conditions, the weather patterns, the crop health, and the most important part, the engineering part, is the equipment performance. I will come to that later. Then the improved resource management. Yes, this is the biggest the topic, okay, of the talk in scientific community, in the business community, in the industrial community. Why people take back seat when it comes to the farming? Because still we are not achieved more than 30% of the resource efficiency. Okay, with this IoT in agriculture, okay, with lot of predictive analysis, today we have come to that level. Yes, my irrigation system can become an intelligent. Okay, my nutrition system has become an intelligent. My plant protection system has become an intelligent system. Okay, that means I am using the resource very at its as if it matters. Okay, this is the last day on the earth. I am going to close my chapter. That means our living conditions, they trigger much. So whenever it happens, throughout the life we have worked for an organization and we have meddled with so many ups and downs, yes and no, okay, argument, disarguments, everything. But at the last day of final maturity, the retirement day, okay, we feel that yes, this is our last day. Oh, I should not have done this, I should not have done this, I should not break up the issue with the other people. So these all things come. That is nothing but the resource efficiency. Here in farming, we do feel that the improved resource management can be possible or could be possible by understanding the resources properly. What is my soil? What is my water? What is my air? Okay, what is my climate? This cannot be visualized, okay, to the larger extent by an human being. Therefore, we do go for the IoT. Then comes when you analyze the resource management, when you handle it with a careful management style, automatically there will be an enhancement of the crop monitoring. Okay, the disease detection, the pest detection, the weed detection of the abiotic stress. You know, many a times biotic and abiotic stresses are complementary to each other. This we must understand. Where whoever into service providers, we always I do this practice. Whenever somebody comes and asks me, sir, this is the pest has come. always I don't look at only biology of that. I always look at the abiotic factor that is influencing the biotic factor. Sometimes the biotic factor influences the abiotic stress of the plant. For example, just a small example I will give you. In our pathology, since I'm a pathologist, I do say, for example, wilting happens in the plants. Okay, wilting happens. That means the death takes of the plant. Okay, either from the terminal, that means the terminus, and goes down, or it gets spread horizontally. So what happens? Wilting is due to so many factors, biological factors. For example, if pathogen is there, then pathogen releases some enzymes, toxins. We call them toxins as an enzymes. So when they go and block, or they interfere with the normal systems of the plant, conversion of fluorescence into fruits, whatever it may be, the vegetative phase to reproductive phase, growth, everything, then the wilt happens. The beauty of bacteria, okay, we call them as the vascular habitat bacteria, which come directly into the vascular system, either xylem or the phloem, especially the xylem. So what happens there? It's a water conducting tissue. Bacteria, they do come there, and they never produce a single nano quantity of the toxins. Simply they block the system, that's all. Just like the strikes on the roads, you don't do anything, just block the road, that's all. Okay, your transportation is halted. So once the transportation is halted, all the transportation related things are halted. They are at the pass. It's a very, very scary situation. The same thing, the bacteria block the system, and we feel the wilting of the plant. Here, no toxins are produced, no enzymes are produced, no any the disease-causing elements have been action. Only physical blocking of the system by bacteria is felt. So when you apply this IoT there, then you need to understand that what is that environment promoting this blocking of the plant system. Okay, then we need to sense which part of the plant is sensed properly and who is doing it. See, this is how the science and technology contributes to the farming system. So this is called as enhanced crop monitoring. So for example, bacteria is landing in the pomegranate. Okay, see, all the pathogens whoever come to the plant, they land, just like alighting the air. Okay, the what you call the aeroplanes. Okay, when they land, okay, so they halt for some time. They never rush into the parking area. Okay, they land first. The same thing happens. The pathogens land on the plant, they settle for a few time. Then when they feel it is congenial with respect to the humidity, with respect to the light, with respect to the air, with respect to the nutrition, they smell it. Then they start probing slowly. Okay, the landing phase, then the probing phase. Then once they probe, then they feel where exactly their passage can be done. I'm talking about the microclimatic level. So when they probe it properly, then they feel it, this is my area to colonize. There only they colonize. They don't go to the other part where they get the resistance. Okay, either it is a plant or the environment is not congenial, they stop there only. Therefore we call specks of infection. Otherwise it will maybe all the area. Once they colonize, the colonies get colonized, then it develops into a lesion. Okay, that develops into some part of affected area, that we call it as a spot, anthracnose, by so many terms. That means you are probing through the things, okay, through this Internet of Things. When you install this instrument in the field, you need to get the data collection of temperature, humidity, luminance, etc., and connect with the landing phase of the pathogen on the plant. Oh, this is the season. I have planted in the June. July is the expected time of arrival of the pathogens due to the southwest monsoons, the completing the trough. So what happens? These things, they get the information and give you back, and that gets analyzed. Automatically what happens? You are having hold on the pathogen arrival. Your spray schedule should not be after the colonization of the pathogen. Before colonization of the pathogen, where there were only one, after colonization they become 100. When the colony gets colonized, they become into millions. What we're doing now, we're looking at the millions of population, and we are going to spray with the dosage which is meant for the earlier phase of spray. See, this is the difference. This is the demarcating level of understanding the things. So things are there, data is created, it is getting analyzed, and it is helping us to take the prophylactic measures. We call it as a prophylactic measures. Okay, we call it as the prognosis. Means we are in advance. We are already landed before the pathogen landed. How much time it takes? Okay, when you go in the traditional farming, it is very tough job. Every day you cannot go. Of course, a farmer means he should be there in the farm every day, every hour. That is the principle. But nowadays things have been changed. So let us assume the present conditions of the farmer mindset or the farming systems. So with this help of IoT, with help of the sensors, okay, who are signaling the pathway, we need to catch the pest or the pathogen in advance, so that prophylactic measures always helps us a lot to bring down the population when it goes to the advanced level. So this way we are enhancing the crop monitoring and the disease, pest or the weed detection. Then I'm not touching on the livestock monitoring, it's again a different world. But I will give one example of livestock monitoring done by a Canadian in Colorado. Then comes, yes, we have things connected. The most important part is the decision making. Okay, as I told you already, the decision making, it helps the farmers. Okay, it leverages some insights. Okay, yes, if I get reduce the population of the pest at this stage, at the 30th day of the crop, the 60th day of expression of the crop is totally different. That means an insight has come. Okay, our focus is on that area, and what happens? It optimizes the production process. It fine tunes the resource allocation. Yes, today I have sprayed with the 500 ml of some protective molecule in my plant. After the 60th day, if it is a traditional farming, this 500 ml going to get repeated 3 to 4 times, especially in the highly commercial crops. But we don't know, because we don't know the path of that establishment. Okay, we think that 100 spores are this, means they tend to remain 100. That never happens until unless you trace it. So when you do this decision making, automatically what happens? The resource allocation, okay, notches it gets. Okay, yes, I have brought down. See, doubling farmers' income is nothing but bringing down the expenses in the farming. That's all. There is a meaning. If you save a pie, okay, if you save a paisa in your expenses, it is nothing but your, okay, the doubling of the income. The income always related to the saving and the expenses. So how I can do? I can use this Internet of Things, okay, the help of the gadgets in my farm. Okay, so then I can go it. So IoT is also used in the supply chain optimization. Okay, this is a different set of level, because it crosses the field level. Okay, then it goes to the plate. That means we call it as a consumption. Okay, it is not only that we have produced enough good quality fruit, okay, produce, now it is get converted into food. It reaches the plate, it reaches the shelf, it reaches the industry. Their supply chain management comes. They do have some things which are connected through internet. There also IoT plays a vital role. So when I talk about this, the next level, some of the best applications as on today in farming or in IoT related issue is the greenhouse automation. See, it's already, I told you, it is a generation of convenience. When you get the things, okay, under your control, under your management, Okay, we love to have it as automated. Now let me get automated. Okay, my vehicle get automated. My house, okay, the Google homes, we call them as Google homes. Okay, they get automated. We enjoy that automation. So greenhouse automation, taking control of the nutrition, taking control of the pest and the pathogen load, taking control of the ambient temperature, humidity, all the things, it gets automation. No. Morning, Monday, I will go and just put on the things. Then Saturday, I will come back. My report is ready. It's already happening in the health industry. So this report gives me some decision making, and my produce is ready for this market on next Sunday. So this is called an automation. Everything is automated. Your water is irrigation is automated, your plant protection is automated, your plant nutrition is automated. Okay, your plant promoting, all the issues are getting automated. Next comes, I told you already, it's a predictive analysis. Okay, we get a predictor, we get like astrologers. Okay, Bhavishwani. Yes. Today I'm sitting here. I may not be there in the farm, but I am there somewhere sitting in the New York. I am saying all MNCs do the same thing. Okay, so this crop is going to get harvested on this day at this time. Flowers will generate. Okay, they get converted into fruits. So like this, the things will happen. This quality is going to come. Then the assisting part of the IoT and the application part is the uncrewed or unmanned aerial vehicles, we call. Okay, I think previous day somebody has talked on this. Due to my busy schedule in Jatra, I could not attend to that. So agricultural drones. Actually, when I was in US, one of my friends from the USGS, and he was that you people simply use drone as a very common or very common people's term, but actually drone is a term to be used by the US defense only. That it was his opinion. So the UAEs have done a lot of things today, okay, in agriculture. Then the most important part today we are striving hard is the climatic, okay, the climatic conditions. Still we are not attained the perfectness in the climatic variations, climatic predictions. But with the help of IoT, to some extent, okay, I can understand the farming microclimate or the macroclimate, okay, with this climate reading essentials. So that is the number one. So for example, nutrition, water protection is one part. Air quality, the light quality, they are going to play very vital role in crop. So these climate conditions. And one more thing I want to make it very clear, and I want to listen to you all, that what is your understanding. The farming, I don't know other system, although other systems are on their level of understanding. Farming is not related to only the couple farming. If I am going to take up sowing today, it is also connected to the even California. What is happening in the California, Los Angeles is going to influence the farming in copper. This is sure. That means, so we are not alone in the system. We are on the topography of the earth, either located advantageously or disadvantageously. That is a different issue. But we are getting connected. We know that, we must understand that we are connected, and from where that connectivity comes, okay, through the climate, through the environment. So this is how the monitoring climatic conditions. When you do this one, automatically the precision farming comes into the way. It's a small level of understanding the things in between. Then farm management it comes. Then livestock tracking and geofencing. Today, nowadays, geofencing has got a lot of issues, because those days have gone, that wherein the rising of the livestock was there with the natural way of livestock rearing. Now the things have been changed again. There a lot of things are coming into that. So what happens when you use this IoT? Okay, I'm talking in the perspective of business who are into, including myself. Okay, farmer is one side, IoT is one side. Another part, what benefits I am reaping out of it is, one is my improvement with the data collection. See, everybody we talk about the digital agriculture, digital lifestyle, digital divide, so many opinions, reports are coming. So first of all, we are going to gain momentum on the data collection. Earlier we used to collect the data, it was totally analog style, okay, with voices and other things. That's a different story. Now we got a device, we got a connect where analog is converted into digital, and digital, it's a easier form of communication to the next level. Then we have optimized resource use, then end-to-end control. See, this is how it's gradually becoming an autopilot system. Then reduced wastage. I'm saying we have wastage part 30% in the farming during production and 30% post-production. That means we are losing approximately on an average 50-60% in the wastage only, whether it is the clean produce or the post-produce. That means the two sectors, they are haunting us. Okay, so what is happening here is, with the use of this connectivity, we can bring down the wastage. So one, we do say we get big what you say, the signboards and other things, okay, in hostels or in other public places, don't waste food, millions are starving. That's what the same level. Once you reduce the wastage of the resources, okay, of the output, you are going to get economic purview, okay, the economic regulation of what you are going to produce, how the cost benefit ratio is calculated, okay. So how the price commission, it calculates the price, how they discover the price. It's not only the fetching the price on the produce, it is also on the wastage that is generated. That is a very crucial point in understanding this economic forum of the farming. With this help of IoT, we can bring down that wastage limit. Then comes the cleaner environment. Yes, my environment, my farming, my produce, my food. Okay, so once you understand this particular environment is going to give me the best out of the best, automatically, okay, I am the happiest person on the earth. I am getting the clean produce, I am getting the green produce, I am getting the expected produce to the consumer. And once you give that service, you have got a right to get the reward back. Okay, you can ask the price, okay, for your produce. That means it's the reward, or whatever you call, okay, as a trade fair, whatever you practice. Okay, so this is how it makes you to get that confidence. Okay, no, I have produced, okay, I have produced the good quality. Okay, so no interference with any other this thing. I am ready to get my market back. Then, as I told, it is helping us to go to the automated level. So when I consider these factors as advantageous, but we must consider very critical things when you are going to establish IoT in the farm. Okay, number one is it meeting the farm specific needs? Okay, it is very, very vital to understand that every farm or every crop has got a specific needs and the challenges. So we need to identify these areas wherein this technology, okay, it can bring the most significant improvements in understanding this. That means I told it very clearly, rice is a different system, and maize is a different system, and that pigeon pea is a different system, mango is a different system, banana is a different system. That means each crop has its signature of needs and the assessments and the challenges. So IoT will be differing, okay, from one crop to another crop. Therefore, the configuration of the hardware and the software comes into part. The role of engineer, always I say, farming is a biology, okay, and run by an engineering mind. So we need to develop that understanding of farm specific needs. Then the most important part, whether my IoT setup, nowadays we are finding so many companies rushing and putting IoT on place in the farming. How about the data management? I have seen many of the guys who are taking this IoT into the farming, they themselves don't have the proper knowledge of the data management. I'm not talking on the engineering part it, but many a times it so happens some technical guys, okay, they are deployed for this work and they go and install. Afterwards, okay, the farmer faces the problems, or the service provider faces the problems, and nobody knows what to do with this data management. Huge data, big data comes in. Okay, I can say with my experience in the precision farming, when I took that project long back in 2010, one thing I felt or understood clearly is the data is the strength and weakness of our system. If you don't use the data generated, okay, you are going to fail. Okay, failure is the concept of the data management. At the same time, if you can handle the data, okay, you are a successful person. So data management and the privacy, okay, this is the biggest issues. Always people in IT, they say whenever a antivirus package comes, okay, so many viruses also tend to come. This is also true in our biological system. My teachers, they used to say whenever they deal with the viruses in the classroom, okay, and that the same thing I continue during my classes. Today you go to a plant affected with the virus and understand the virus and start meddling with the virus and to get with the virus management. Tomorrow new virus will come. That means viruses after your class, they grow through your notes, understand what the management they have done, then they go to the plants and they change their siblings, or we call them as the virus offsprings. That means a new virus will come, okay, with the new kind of configuration setup. So this is how it happens in the privacy part of the IoT. So many generators of technology are there. At the same time, I don't know, even more than the generators, the hackers are also there in the field. It is a game play. Okay, so the privacy, yes, the data privacy, the security concerns. Okay, here no system is exceptional. I don't know the highest form of the even defense, but security concerns, they tend to continue because very sensitive information about the farm operations. Okay, and we need to ensure that compliance with the relevant regulations, that is going to play. Then scalability and the flexibility. See, we must consider the ability of this solution. Can it be adapted, okay, to the changing needs of your farm? Is it scalable or can it be flexible? Okay, so that we must consider. Then the interoperability and the integration. That means as a part of the process, always we tend to look into the compatibility of the proposed solutions, either compatibility in the human system, the relations with the society, with the governance, all the things, they tend to happen the same way here. The farm equipment, the machineries and the systems which are supporting them, is there any interoperability system, compatibility, the integration of all the things? It is not so easy as I am speaking here. Is a very tough part of the engineering. So that created solution, it must be able to integrate with the other technology. Otherwise what happens? The antagonist starts. Then the regulatory and the environmental factors. See, you cannot run the drones in all the spheres of the life, in all the spheres of the topography. There is a restriction. So in the same way, we must consider the potential regulatory requirements or the environmental considerations. It may impact that implementation, okay, of that solution. For example, let me take with the pesticide application. There is a process, okay, there is a standard set of norms or the procedures or the protocols for the pesticide spray, even timing, okay, even the duration, even the days. Who bothers? That's what it's happening, especially in the commercial crops. Take for example the pomegranate, okay, the staple food crop like rice. Very unfortunate that still we don't have a proper mechanism of spraying. Okay, so when I attended the precision agriculture summit in Shanghai, there was one person, he has become friend during my flight from Kuala Lumpur to Shanghai. So he was the man of the stabilization of the spraying technology. Do we have a spraying technology in India? It is less than 10%. We don't have. We have a boom sprayer, this sprayer, tractor mounted, everything. But what is that spraying solution? What is that spraying technology? Nobody knows. Even companies who offer that services, I just got interview of some of the people who are involved into that. Even they don't know properly. See, this is what happening. Therefore, this connecting the things with the proper dosage of the spraying schedule, proper dosage of the spraying volume, okay, the proper dosage of the spraying time comes into picture. You can bring down this spraying technology to the greater level without affecting the structure of the system. That means, see, you have others living creatures with you. For example, let me take the paddy. You know, I have been seeing, I think people from our Koppal district, especially from Gangavati, Arjun Reddy must be knowing, Gangavati to Sindhanur area. I have seen once the spraying is done in the rice, very next day all the hospitals were with the patients of these sprayed individuals. That means who the laborers or the farmers who are involved in the spraying, okay, they were all got hospitalized. See, when you pass through that path during the spraying period, you feel that irritation. Okay, that means we don't know what the spraying technology. But when you have the things to control this spraying also, but depending on understanding the pest and the pathogen landing on the plant and their manifestation with the food, you can bring down this spraying technology. Okay, you can improvise this spraying technology. So this is one. Then the most important part is, yes, we have principle of all those things, vendor selection. Okay, so this must be very, 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 very choosy. Okay, whether the vendor is experienced, whether the technology provider is experienced, okay, what is his team or her team, and what is their track record, reputation, the customer support services. I have seen, I have worst experience. I'm not talking about this when I was running the project, the photostat copying machine, we call it as a Xerox. Okay, the people used to give us the best of the best photocopying machines with the total station concept, and they never turn up back giving the services. They did collect all AMC fees, because when I asked the person, sir, we don't know the much of it, we are asked to install your system and come back. See, this is how affecting our the working ability in Indian conditions. It may be true in other countries also in different sectors, but we tend to get all sorts of machines in my lab, but next level I don't know. Okay, see, this is also happens when you take up the novel technologies, okay, like IoT. You must be able to understand, or you must be able to get guided by a proper person before you install. Now IoT sensors are giving on the subsidy to the farmers in the horticulture department through government, state government. 500 devices have come throughout Karnataka. 30-20 devices are being giving to farmers on subsidy basis, 50% subsidy. 40,000 is the price, 20,000 by the farmer, 20,000 by the government and the subsidy. People are rushing to that. No, I want this IoT. I want this automatic weather station in my farm. Okay, but service provider, okay, and the farmer, there is a big gap. Okay, government is doing its job by facilitating the farmers with the latest technology, okay, to bring down the wastage, to bring down the expenses. But what is happening? Nobody knows it properly. Okay, when it is struck in the field, not the biologist will look into that, an engineer, the IT person, okay, has to handle it. Okay, so this is the disconnectivity. One must be very careful enough what kind of the IoT development services, okay, they are into, how they are giving it, what is their the profile, okay, so what is their record. This way I can find some good companies or the service providers. Okay, I have gone through those people also during my journey into this precision agriculture. We do have the best of the best service providers, but the cost involves. Okay, to get the quality doesn't come on the cheaper price, as they say. Okay, we need to pay them. Okay, it's not that we're paying the price for it, we are respecting the technology. Okay, we must acknowledge that yes, lot of things have gone in. People have spent their personal time in developing the system for us. Okay, IT guys, they have sit day and night to develop that time who gives? For example, if you go to surgeon, okay, so he has cut and replaced. Why we must pay 50,000 for that? It's the professional fees, man. Okay, when you getting dissected by a surgeon, okay, it doesn't mean that for just small ligament is cut and stitched it back. Why should I pay? See, the knowledge and the regulation compliances, and they are not harming you at all. And not only the post operational things they have set into your body. See, this is the fees we have to pay. Of course, for that now government is thinking to get into the financial part of it. Okay, getting through some systems of cooperative basis, especially the farmer producer organizations, where an individual cannot take big machines or a big connectivity like this. They can go on a collective basis. For example, recently we have got installed some automatic weather stations with the IoT enabled in some forms. We can get 1 kilometer radius of the manifestation of the situations with that device. Okay, so this way 1 kilometer is a big scale in the farming, 1,000 meter across. Okay, south and north, east and west. So this direction it can sense and it can give you the data, it can connect you with the data, and it can analyze the data. Next level is you can use AI and different forms to get a better inference, so that the mistakes committed in this season, okay, or in this part of the season, can be corrected by the next season, so that it can connect it with your expenses, quality, the quantity, and collaborating with the market, advanced trading system they call. Okay, my mango, for example, I have seen when I was in US, the citrus, the fruits, they were harvested by using this IoT system, where when exactly fruit is determined as a mature or ripened to get it harvested, so that it reaches the market perfectly, befitting solutions for this. So like this is application from soil health to the product health. Okay, nowadays we do find, for example, in the coming days mango season starts. What happens? By the demand from the mango market, either locally or globally, people tend to harvest in advance. See, when a fruit is harvested on a particular day, on a particular time, it will have its fullest strength of as a fruit. Otherwise, what happens? By looking to the demand of the market, okay, so marketers are like that. What happens? The farmers or the leasant, whatever the farming system they are doing, they do harvest it in early, and they make that fruit lacking some essential components into that, or oversizing or overleading some of the components which are unnecessary in the fruit factor. So this I have seen. And the second part, I have seen the keeping banana ripened in the market in advance by using all other internal ways of getting it ripened through chemicals, powders, etc. etc. What happens to the consumer? It's just horrible. Okay, but in place of IoT in the farm, okay, you can say you harvest on this time, this is the situation, it is going to analyze the content of your product. Ultimately you can get a good quality and good market. So what I feel is this is an introduction part of the IoT in agriculture, and I thought of getting to you with this kind of information. And coming days we'll go one by one, its implications, the governance, the regulatory framework, or whoever people are there into system already. You can also add the value to this, okay, and your experiences to this. One example, just I wanted to quote and close my this thing. Uh, we all know about the Elon Musk, okay, into the SpaceX technology. At the same time, we have his brother, okay, the Kimball Musk. Kimball Musk is the younger brother of Elon Musk. So when Elon Musk has started this one, and Kimball Musk has started IoT in farming, especially in his controlled conditions. You must be knowing he has got a big kitchen network business, this thing establishment. So the square roots that is established by the Kimball Musk, and he stays in Colorado. So this way, big people are into that, okay, and Microsoft giant into developing the farms on a huge scale in US and in other part of the world. The same way, this IoT is taking into new setup, okay, in getting convenient with the farming system and convenient with the consumer system, convenient with the environmental system. So this way, IoT plays a very vital role in agriculture. Okay, just I have touched very few parts of this because it's a huge science. Other IT people, ICT people, tech engineers, even egg techies, they can add value to this. And let us welcome all their views into this part of the IoT. Once again, I thank OBN and my all fellow moderators, mentors in this OBN family.